So I'll be teaching you how to draft or how to cut a female shirt. First thing first, get a straight line. Next is to get the length of the shirt. We're working with a length of 26. Now this does not include sewing allowance. This is just the exact length of the shirt, 26 inches. Now for us to get the width of our shirt, our bust, this is the bust here. Our bust is 38. If you divide 38 divided by 4, we are dividing 38 by 4 and we'll have 9.5 is equal to 9.5. Now, depending on how big or how you want your shirt to be, most time you can add 2 inches as sewing allowance. That's to the body of the shirt. You can add 2 inch sewing allowance. You can add 2.5 inches. You can add 3. It just depends on how big you want it to be. For this particular shirt, I'll be adding 2.5 inch sewing allowance. So we have 9.5 plus 2.5. We'll have 12. Right? Yes, we'll have 12. So the first thing first is to get our body, which is 12. So you will imagine that you're folding a fabric, and this is 12 inches. You'll get this 12 all the way down. Now we're still marking our length, which is here. Our length of 26. Remember that this length does not carry the sewing allowance. That's on the length side. I've added to the body. I've added sewing allowance to the body, but the length is not carrying sewing allowance because I don't think this board will permit it. That's why. The next thing you will do is to get the shoulder. For shoulder, 16 divided by 2, you have, I hope you're seeing it, 16 divided by 2, you have 8. So our shoulder here is 8. Our armhole depth is 8. The next thing is to get this is the back, we're drafting the back right now, is to get the depth of our neck. The depth of the neck of this back is 1 inches, while the width we are using is 2 inches. You take your ruler, put it like so, and mark. Next is to bring our shoulder down. So we're dropping our shoulder by 1 inches. Next is to divide what is left of this armhole. You divide what is left of this armhole. Now we have 7. If you divide 7 by 2, you have 3.5, which is somewhere around here. 3.5. And then you go back by ½ inches. You go back by ½ inches. After marking your ½ inches, you take your ruler and do this. You connect your ruler from this armhole, from this slant of the shoulder, from this point. You connect your ruler to meet the ½ inch you came in by. This ½ inches, and then it will also connect to the armhole depth, just like so. And then you draw this way. So this way you have your armhole depth. Now, depending on how the down of your shirt is supposed to be, however you want it to be, you can leave it as straight as this and then put a side slit on your clothes, or you can curve the down. Most shirts come as a curved down. So this curving is whatever inches you want it to curve by. Now, for this particular tutorial, I'll be going up by 2.5. I'll be going up by 2.5. Now, another point to note is never start your curving directly from this point. No, you go straight a little bit, but at 2 inches, 3 inches before your curving starts. Before you give it a curve. So you see, I didn't start my curve from the beginning of the shirt. I went straight a little bit before I curved it. Now, you will take note that there are some shirts that comes with shape. There are some shirts, but When you're making a free shirt, this is how free shirts come. This is how free shirts are cut. You don't have to shape the side. But for the sake of those who want to make their shirts shaped, all you just need to do is to get your half length measurement. You get your half length measurement, and then you come in around your half length area, and then you shape your shirt. So now, in drafting the front part of your shirt, you will still be using what you used here. I used a width of 12 inches. That's 9.5, which is the bust, plus 2.5, making it 12. So I'm going to be using seam 12. Just watch and see. The next step is to mark your shoulder. We're doing a shoulder of 8. An armhole length of 8. Go down by 1. And then you draft your neck width. We're using a neck width of 2 inches. Look at it, 2 inches. A neck depth of 4. You place your ruler like this. Draw your neck depth. Your shoulder, you go down by 1 inches. So by so. After this, okay, you do your armhole, divide here by 2. You have 3.5. Come in by half. And then you place your ruler so, as like so. You make sure you have a meeting point of here, here, and here. Then you draft your armhole. This is our armhole. The next step now is to get our flap allowance, our button flap allowance. We usually use 2 1/4. So our flap allowance will not end up being too tiny. So we use 2 1/4 because this board is not okay. Let me just use 2 inches because the wideness, what's remaining here, if I use 2 1/4, it will not fit into it. So I will go ahead and just use 2 inches for our flap allowance. This our flap allowance, you extend your neck to where your flap allowance is. Usually, you don't just extend your neck like this. We usually go up by